Alright, here's another little video on my T-MAXX truggy project. Decided I was going to put the short course truck top on it. I got a new one for my Techno SCT, so decided to adapt it. I just put this inner fender well block. Try not to keep too much stuff from getting in there. Got the titanium front skid on it. You can see I haven't done this side yet. It's quite the work in progress. This is the one that I put the center differential in, and I took out the tranny. I found I was always wanting to get into second gear anyway, so by just putting the 1-speed in, it just gave me a lot of weight savings as well as some serious durability. The truck's really coming along. It's changed it dramatically into a different kind of truck. It really has. My motor mount assembly and everything worked out really well. So see, I even decided I'd put some front mesh in the front windshield. But anyway, if you look in here closely, you can see it no longer has any Traxxas transmission. It's got 8-scale buggy center diff assembly, and by adding that center diff, it really changed the way that it handles going through the corners and stuff. There's a quick little shot of the secondary fuel tank, and that system's working really well. It pushes, the pressure comes right off my expansion pipe, my tuned pipe, and goes into this primary first tank, and then from there it pushes through, and I've got it piped, the fuel lines run back to the back, and then it just pushes that fuel into this, and then from there the pressure goes straight up into the engine. So it really gave me a lot of extra fuel volume, and now that I've kind of got my spacing figured out, I actually have this this other tank that I'm going to mount in the front position, and it'll fit very nicely, and it'll even increase my volume. I don't know if that gives it a very good perspective as to what's going on there, but it's I'll have about 175 cc's of fuel capacity, so that'll be nice. And you can see I've got my brake adjustment screws right there, so I can fine-tune the brakes. I've got my brakes set up to where my rear will engage a little bit before the front, and then so that helps me to kind of break the rear end free as I go into cornering. And then, you know, primarily probably about 70% of the overall braking is done through the front brakes. But boy, if you look at how my driveline angles and everything worked out, it's probably not very good light, but I had to, the rear driveline worked out to where I could keep it basically stock. I mean, they're the CVDs that I have, part of that dynamite kit. The front I did have to cut and weld because it had to be lengthened a little bit. So that was a little bit of a custom application, but other than that, it was a real straightforward assembly. Also, these secondary bump stops that I'm using, they're actually shocks off of 16th scale / 4x4, and I just made these mounts and mount them so as it comes up and hits, what happens is they come up, and then I mean, you can feel the suspension rate right there, and then when they come up and hit that, it stiffens it up so that they have secondary, so it's soft, and then it kind of just hits that bump stop, and the whole assembly just, boy, it really makes it so that I can keep my suspension a little softer to handle the average terrain and the average control, so then I've got a lot better control. But then when I do take some of those big hits, you know, because I've got a couple pretty good-sized jumps on my tracks. If I hit them a little wrong, then I'm skying and catching more air than maybe I want. But with these bump stops, it really makes it so that the truck can absorb those big hits while still allowing me to keep the suspension pretty soft. I fabbed up that little rear aluminum bumper. Worked out pretty nice. I painted it black. It normally is aluminum, but worked out really well. So, I mean, if you see everything, it all fits in there. Took up a lot of the chassis, but boy, this thing is, I don't even know if I can hardly call it a T-MAXX anymore. The only thing that really is T-MAXX officially is, you know, the front and rear differentials, just the front and rear bulkheads assemblies. But, and, you know, it is an aftermarket Dynamite chassis, extended chassis, like I say. So there are some stocks, but not much. Anyway, thought I'd give you guys an update. Hope you enjoy.